Dr. Susan Spellman here. Today I'd like to follow up on my previous video about the role of the past in therapy in terms of how I approach it. Someone asked me the question, so do you always have to follow what happened in the past in your future going forward? A great question, a totally great question. When I did that video, I was talking about the pattern that I see in therapy in general, okay, where you look at a pattern that's happening in your life. So there's a pattern that's happening in your life. Then what's usually helpful is to go back and see where that pattern started, usually in childhood, sometimes later in your life, but prior to where the pattern is now. It started with some kind of upset, something that got stuck in your subconscious in a negative way. And then to work that through and then to see going forward. And very often people go forward with the same theme. So for example, the one I was using then was not being listened to and not being understood. And so the person may feel that way in the present. It may go back to the past, and once they've resolved it, they may decide to go forward and help other people with this same issue. And this is often the case with those of us who become therapists. And so the person asked, they said, oh, now do you have to go with you know, what the problem was and to start with? Do you have to go with the resolution of that problem? Like, for example, to go help other people? And of course the answer is no, you don't have to do that. It is very common that that's what happens. But of course, another example is another client of mine, that when she resolved these issues, what happened, resolved her past issues that had been a pattern of not being listened to, not being understood. Once she resolved those issues, it totally opened up her life in new ways, and she began to become an artist that she never had allowed herself to be, a musician that also she'd never allowed herself to be. So it can be all kinds of options once these things are resolved. And so that can be it's very exciting to see where people want to go, what opens up for them once things are resolved. And so where we start usually is with the pattern, identifying the pattern that's bogging you down in the present. And then we go back to the past, we resolve the issues, and then it's wide open for you to go, you know, whatever direction works for you. So I thought you'd be interested to hear this discussion we had, because it's very exciting and it's a great question. So I'm open for more questions, happy to have more questions. And as always, I offer discovery sessions, free 20-minute sessions that you can find on my website, Susan at susanspillman.com. And I'll try and post it here on the video, or certainly in the description below the video on the YouTube channel. Okay, thanks.